Hello and good morning. Welcome to the Healing Mermaid yoga channel. Let's begin lying down on our backs this morning. Extend your arms and your legs. Just come to rest and start your day with some mindful, deep breaths in and out of your nose. Feel your body supported on the mat as you start to set your intention for today. On your next inhale, draw your knees in towards your chest and give yourself a hug. You can add in some movement, rocking from side to side or in a circle. Squeeze those legs in. Inhale, draw your nose towards your knee, curl up into a tiny ball, and then exhale, relax your head back down. Release your feet back to the mat, and we'll start by extending our right leg straight up towards the sky. Interlace the hands behind the right thigh, and point and flex your toes. Point, flex, and even maybe circle out your ankle a couple times in one direction and then the other. Now keep your toes flexed as you cross your right ankle over your left thigh and start to push your right knee away, finding some space along that right hip. Staying there, or you can draw your legs in towards your chest, interlacing the hands behind the left thigh. Coming into our figure 4 pose. Squeeze those legs in as you relax your shoulders, neck, and head. Breathe into that right hip. And then gently release. Extend your right leg and set it back down. Now let's prepare for bridge pose, grounding into the heels, pressing into the big toes. Lift your seat towards the sky. Squeeze those inner thighs slightly together as you squeeze and lift. One more inhale. And exhale, very slowly roll down your spine. Tailbone touches last. Extend your left heel up to the sky. And we'll do the same thing, drawing that left leg in, point and flex your toes, circle out your ankle. And then we'll keep those toes flexed back towards the face. Go ahead and cross your left ankle over top of your right thigh. Notice how this feels in your figure 4 without even drawing the legs in. And then notice how it feels when you draw the legs in towards you, keeping the shin squared towards the top of the mat. You can add in some very micro rocks from side to side. But then find a moment to pause in stillness, squeezing those legs in just a bit tighter. Breathe into your left hip, left leg. Gently release. Left leg extends and set that foot back down. Preparing for bridge pose for the second time. Push down into the heels, big toe, pinky toe edge. Lift your hips. Squeeze like you have a rolled up towel between the thighs, lifting up just a bit higher, pushing into the arms. And then exhale to slowly roll back down. Now let's make our way over onto our side and slowly press up into seated. Bring the soles of your feet together and the knees apart for butterfly seat. Inhale, palms reach up. Exhale, twist to your left. Right arm comes across your body, left hand behind you. Inhale to come out of your lower back. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, other side. left arm across. Try not to hunch over in this posture. You want to lift up through the heart space. Exhale all the way out. Inhale, come back to center. Then exhale, let's fold forward, butterfly fold. You can hold on to your ankles or your feet, or even face your palms up towards the sky. We want this to be just a little bit more passive as we're warming up still in our morning practice. So take your time here to breathe into the low back and low belly, all along your legs. On your next inhale, slowly rise, closing those legs back together, and let's extend our feet towards the top of the mat, coming into staff pose. So this is an active seated posture. You'll be pressing down into the hips, backs of the legs, the heels, hands are under the shoulders, tall spine. Bring your right foot to the left inner thigh. Inhale to sit tall, sweeping your arms up overhead. And on your exhale with a flat back, go ahead and fold forward, hinging from your hips. You can hold to the shin, ankle, or toes. Inhale to look forward towards the toes, and exhale, fold on in, forehead to knee pose. Take a few breaths here. Inhale to slowly rise, re-extending your right leg, and we'll switch. Left foot comes to the inner right thigh. Inhale, sit tall, lengthen arms up. Exhale, keep the space in your chest as you fold forward. Broaden across your collarbones, open up. And on your next exhale, find some space to take away as you breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, and fold forward. A couple deep belly breaths here. Notice where you feel sensation. Inhale to rise. Now we'll bring both of our feet to the side as we come into tabletop position. Hands and knees, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Let's move through cat-cow. Inhale, soften the belly down as you curl tailbone up. Exhale, round, draw belly in, chin to chest. Inhale, tailbone and crown lift. Exhale, tailbone and crown round down. Flow through this a few more times at your own pace. Inhale for cow. Exhale, rounding cat back up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to come back to a neutral spine. And from here, let's extend our right leg straight back behind. So the inner thigh is rotating up, and you're rotating the outer hip down. Option to extend your left hand here, coming into balancing tabletop. See if you can pull up through the front midline of your body, so engaging your core. Lower that left hand and let's open into a modified side plank. So left knee down, right arm up. And then extend your right arm overhead, grounding through the outer edge of your right foot, getting a big side body stretch. Breathe in here, send those hips forward slightly. And then exhale, right hand and right knee come back down. We'll step our right foot to the top of the mat and align the knee over the ankle for a low crescent lunge. Rising your hands to your top thigh, letting those hips sink forward and down. If you're feeling stable here, extend your arms up, getting some energy flow into our body. Pull that right hip back and down. And notice if the front ribs are poking out. See if you can draw them in slightly, feeling your tailbone lengthen down and your heart up. On your next exhale, hands plant to the mat, coming back to tabletop position. Hips stay stacked over the knees as we stretch our arms forward for puppy dog pose. Rest your forehead on the mat. This is a chest expansion, so we're focusing on opening the heart and the shoulders. Send your breath there. Relax where you can. Soften your hips back. Soften your feet. Now let's go ahead and lower the elbows to the mat and roll forward into Sphinx pose, lowering the hips down to the mat, pointing your toes straight back. Ground into your elbows, and you're wheeling open with your chest. Exhale to lower down, pushing up through Cobra and all the way back into Tabletop. Let's do this on the other side. Extend the left heel straight back in line with the hip, rotating all 5 toes towards the mat. Inhale to extend your right arm. This is optional, but you want to engage your lower belly towards your low back. Feel one long line from heel to thumb. Lower that right hand. Right foot kicks back as you open up into modified side plank. Option to extend your left hand overhead, really ground through the outer edge of your left foot so you're one diagonal line from left pinky toe to left pinky finger. Open up and then exhale. Let's close it off. Left hand down, left knee comes forward and step that foot up. Knee over ankle, rising into your low crescent lunge. Having a proud chest here. Draw those floating ribs back and in, tucking the tailbone. Option to find even more length by extending your arms overhead. Breathe here. Inhale. And on your exhale, sweep those arms down, frame your front foot, and step that left foot back to meet the right. Tuck both of your toes this time, and let's lift into downward facing dog. So this is our puppy pose, but just a little bit more intensive. Press down through the hands, lift through the hips. Take up some space here as you pedal your legs. Deep breaths into your entire spine. Notice where you feel tension and shake it out. On your next inhale, roll forward into plank position, shoulders over the wrist. 8 points touching knees, chest, and chin. Slide your toes to point straight back as you inhale to lift baby cobra. Roll the shoulder blades down and away from the ears. Hold here. If you need to widen your hands, you can lower down and widen. We'll look over the right shoulder. Inhale, center. Look over the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, send it back. Child's pose. Hips to heels, shoulders relaxed here. Couple breaths. Now we'll lift our head and chest and walk the hands over to the left side of the mat, extending your right hand out a little bit further and melt down. Inhale, come back to center, walk the hands to the right, crossing that left hand over the right and fold it down, side body stretch. Breathe into that left rib cage. Come back to center. We'll slowly sit back towards the heels, coming into kneeling. Fingertips come behind you, Facing them forward, you're going to lift your chest and open your heart to the sky. A couple deep heart breaths here. Release. We'll swing the feet to the side and back out in front, scooting up towards the top of your mat. Finding staff pose once again. We'll draw that right foot in, but this time we'll cross it over top of the left thigh. Left leg stays extended, toes flexed. Wrap your left arm around your right thigh, and your right hand will set down behind you, coming into a gentle twist. Gazing over that right shoulder. Take another full, complete breath here. Inhale, come back to center. Re-extend your right leg and let's switch sides. Left foot in, cross it over. Your right arm will wrap around the outside of your left thigh and left hand comes down behind you. Try not to lean back in this posture. You want to stay lengthened down through your tailbone and up through your heart, the crown of your head. Breathe here. Feel the length on your inhale and twist on your exhale. Inhale, come back to center, re-extend your legs. Before we come into our passive butterfly fold, so back with the feet together, knees apart. Inhale to lengthen your spine, exhale, hinge forward. Try to keep a tall spine for a few breaths. Lengthening on the inhale out of the low back, lifting your heart forward. And then exhale, hinging just a bit deeper as you empty out of your breath. Just soften and melt as much as you can here. Breathing into the lower back. And relaxing your hips and your legs with each exhale. On your next inhale, very slowly rise back up. Close the knees together and let's heel toe the feet wide as we windshield wiper to the left, to the right a few times. Washing out the hips. We'll come into deer pose by bringing the left knee and shin to the front, squared, and the right knee is going to extend out from the right hip. So both legs are at 90-degree angles. And you'll walk your hands diagonal behind your hips. Doesn't take much here to feel this posture. You want your right hip to ground down. And this pose is not the easiest for each body. Personally, I find it one of the hardest poses. So breathe where you are. No need to push too deeply here. Notice the sensations in your body and relax. Here comes my cat helper, Gandhi. And we'll go ahead and switch to the other side. So right shin squares in front and the left knee is going to come back in line with your left hip straight out to the side. And walk your hands back, coming into your deer pose on the right side. Rise back up, and now we'll extend both of our legs back into that staff pose, but this time we'll add in a fold. Inhale, extend arms up, find your length. Exhale, folding forward. So here you can also hold on to the shins, ankles, or toes. You want to be able to relax your shoulders. So again, more of a passive fold. You can face your palms up to help remind you to relax in your upper body. This forward fold is wonderful for stretching the posterior chain of the spine. Great way to start your day. A few more deep breaths in reflection here on how you would like your day to go today. Bring your hands under your shoulders and just use your arms to press you back up into seated as you scoot up towards the top of your mat and slowly roll down your spine, drawing those knees into the chest one last time. Now I'll give you the option for the end of your practice here. If you'd like to come into full Shavasana, you can extend your legs and your arms, or if you prefer to come back into seated and take seated meditation for the end of your practice, you can do that as well. But this is your time to let your practice settle in. A time for stillness in the body, in the mind, and become the observer of your breath. Notice your thoughts and allow them to come and go, just like your breath. Just relax and breathe. Invite a deeper breath back to your vessel as you begin to wiggle out your toes and your fingers. Take a long body stretch as you roll over onto your side for one more moment here. Gently press into seated. We'll close this practice off with the hands together at the heart center with Anjali Mudra, prayer hands. We'll take another full deep breath in and out. Thank you so much for your time and energy to practice with me today. From my heart to yours, with much love and gratitude. Namaste.